Okay, let's get going. Richard, what's your one big thing this week?
Outside of the views, just rocketing. Well done, the 966. My one big thing. Just 4 years after removal of the kingdom's 35-year-old ban on movie theaters, Saudi Arabia's 2021 theater box office revenues hit $238 million, making it the top market in West Asia for the second straight year. For reference, that $238 million was close to 100% higher than 2020, which was $122 million, which is not surprising given the pandemic year. But it's also more than $100 million more than UAE's box office gross in 2021. 340 new feature films were released in Saudi cinemas in 2021, again up from 222 in 2020. The surge in Saudi box office grosses coincides with the growth of multiplexes from 33 locations at the beginning of the year, 2021, to 53 by December. Saudi Arabia now has 430 screens. Saudi-owned Movie Cinemas operates the highest number of local cinemas with 21. Dubai-based Vox has 15. U.S. theater chain AMC has 10. We did a segment on them and their challenges in getting rolling. Lebanon's Empire Cinema with 5, and Mexican-owned Cinépolis has 2 multiplexes.
Awesome. As you know, I don't really like movie theaters. This was even before the pandemic, so but that's really cool. Dave, feel free to jump in here.
Well, this is really just a symptom of what's going on. I mean, 5 years ago, if you had a bunch of Westerners in the kingdom, somebody would come in and say, "Oh my God, you wouldn't believe what I just saw. What? I drove through Burger King and a Saudi was working there." And it was like they saw a unicorn walking down the street. And now, the country is transformed in ways that is profound for those of us who go back and forth to the kingdom, and it's largely unknown in the West, but it really is a profound transformation, and this growth of cinemas is a pretty visible attribute of that.
Yeah, it's you put your finger on it. People hear about it, but they don't believe it. I was laughing with Lucian that when I first went to the Saudi in the 80s, entertainment was sharing banned VHS tapes.
Yeah.
That was, if you got a good one, it was awesome. And when my friends would come here, Saudi friends would come here, part of the process, if they're in for 2 weeks or a week and a half or whatever, visiting a son or a daughter or whatever, they say, leave me alone for about 4 days because I want to go to the movie theater. I want to go see some things that I can't see back home. Yeah, it's a different world for sure.
Yeah. And the cultural aspect of it is becoming so intertwined where, you see people who, wear T-shirts with professional wrestlers on them and stuff like that. I mean, it's profound and it's so rapid. And I fear because of COVID, a lot of people are really missing out on this. They're going to see a great step. It's been sort of a gradual thing, but when people start going back to the kingdom in numbers, there's going to be a lot of people really amazed. We'll see a lot of articles.
Yeah. It's also worthwhile to note that the top grossing film was Egyptian comedy. So it's not all just, U.S. blockbusters. And actually 2 of the top 5 were Egyptian comedies. Spider-Man was the biggest, U.S. production to make it, and that came in at 2. But of the top 10, there's a number of Middle East Arab-based productions, which is I guess it's not surprising given there. But these increasingly, and we've covered the Red Sea Film Festival and a number of other things. You'll see more and more of that, where you're going to see more regional and local productions making it to the screen.